Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who fits into any culture perfectly, and he will be now in the fabric of football forever, as he should be, going into the NFL Hall of Fame next weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Colts Ring of Honor member, College Football Hall of Famer, a 7-time Pro Bowler, an absolute stud. Ladies and gentlemen, Dwight Freeney.
What's up, Pat? What's happening?
Hey, how are you feeling, man? We're getting very close to the big day. The gold jacket's about to be wrapped around those massive traps and shoulders. How do we feel? You excited, or what are the thoughts right now?
Man, I got a lot of anxiety. You know what it is? It's kind of like you really want this moment to be perfect, right? And you've been thinking about it, but it's like planning a big wedding. You got all your friends, your family. You have to tell your wife, no, not that guy. Yes, him. Yes, please call him back. Make sure he's in. You have so much going on outside of that moment, right? And then when you finally get all of that to bed, then you can focus on the moment. So I can't wait until I get to the moment where I can focus on it, because it hadn't happened yet.
Well, I would like to let you know I appreciate being a part of the yes, that guy, not no, the other guy, because I actually talked to your wife via email. She has been a rock star through this, I think, from the emails that I've seen, representing, the night and the evening from your people. It's going to be great. We got Jim Irsay, right, is doing the he's a part of the induction. He's going to be there?
Absolutely. I got to have Jim. It all started with Jim. He is the horseshoe. It means a lot to him. It means a lot to me.
Are you getting are you getting a ghost? I think that's what, right? Edge.
Oh yeah.
Edge got a ghost out of this. I think a Rolls Royce.
I don't know. We got to figure that part out. I might need your help.
Okay, Freeney, let's talk about your game and why you are making it into the Hall of Fame. Now, it has been said that Bill Belichick actually developed the chip block because he was sick and tired of what you were able to do to their tackle, because you were considered undersized for a little bit, but what you had in a lack of height, you were powerful, fast, and cerebral. I think that is do you think the modern pass rusher is kind of more similar to how you played? Do you think you were ahead of your time? How would you describe what you did versus what's going on right now, Freeney?
Well, you know what? This is what I've always said. Why do I need to be 6'5"? All right. I'm not grabbing rebounds and blocking shots out there. All right. My thing is I have natural leverage. All right. I'm already underneath you. All right. And if I'm tipping passes and all of that stuff, that's not good for me. All right. That means that I'm not getting to the quarterback. All right. So I don't want to have any tip passes. I want to be able to hit the quarterback, be on top of the quarterback every play. Now, what's happening now is I do see a trend of smaller, quote unquote, smaller, undersized defensive end and guys at that position being drafted higher. All right. So prior to me, Pat, those guys would be called tweeners or just third down specialists, or guys who would just be, maybe an outside linebacker that just happens to play, defensive end, on third down. But for me, I played every single down. And I just wanted to show the world, look, and this is how you play ball, and it doesn't matter how tall you are. That has nothing to do with it, how big you are. It's about how you produce and what you do in that field.
We just saw some highlights of the bull rush and the spin move, and the one against the Saints, that's in the Super Bowl. He had like a broken ankle, if you do recall, in that particular play. It was a big deal that you even played the game, let alone ran over the tackle and got a sack in the Super Bowl. It was like, you've talked about this before. I don't recall if it's been on the show or if it's just in conversations we've had. Everything is a setup. It's a chess game, and that's why you were able to have so many different moves, because they didn't know if a bull rush was coming. They didn't know if a spin move was coming. They didn't know if that ice pick was about to hit this thing, or if you're going to go low and outside. I don't think that gets talked about a lot with guys that are rushing a quarterback, is there's a full game plan. There's a strategy. We got to execute it, right? And are more people doing that these days?
Well, you know what? I'm seeing a little bit of that. Myles Garrett does a little bit of that. Max Crosby does a little bit of that. TJ does a little bit of that. You have to have a game plan. You go into the game, with a whole bunch of moves that you want to use. Hopefully you have enough moves. Hopefully you've been doing what you needed to do in the practice field in the years prior to where you can have a plethora of moves that you can bring out when you need it. Every offensive tackle isn't the same. They all don't punch the same. Some of them engulf you with arms out here. Some guys like to hit you two hands. Some guys like to use one hand. So you have to have different moves to go against.
You're just cooking these dudes on the screen right now, Freeney. These highlights, I don't know how long this highlight reel's going, but you're just murdered, dead. But that guy thought there's a chance a bull rush is coming. So you see him bringing the hand on
Donnie
it.
Barkley.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got to set it up.
Sorry, Dahn.
Pat, you
Good West Virginia boy.
got to set it up. You know what I'm talking about? You can't just do it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to give him like a pitcher. Think of a pitcher on the mound. If all he threw was fastballs, those guys get paid on the other side. He's going to sit back on the fastball and take you deep. No different than a pass rusher. All right, you got to go out, give him some things. Give him a fastball. Give him a changeup. Give him a bull rush. Give him an outside speed. Give him a club rip inside. Give him different things. You're probing as you're going, trying to see how he's going to protect against you. And then once you realize, okay, this is what he's doing, then it's a feast. Then do what you want to do.
Then fourth quarter, third down. Okay, 3rd and 7. Here we go. This is the game pretty much. Or 4th down, 4th and 6. This is the game pretty much. Every single time. That first, I had a chance to be on a team with Freeney and Mathis at the same time for like 4 years, okay? And it was, if there was a moment at the end of the game, there's no question. This wasn't like you know how they give the ball to Patrick Mahomes at the end of the game? What's going to happen? If he needs a he's going to walk down the field. Yeah. You give the ball to Tom Brady, what's going to happen? He's going to walk right down the field and score. End of the game, if quarterback has to get sacked and it's a game winner, it was you or Mathis were going to make it happen. You did that for so long. That's why I'm incredibly happy that you're getting your flowers at the Hall of Fame, man. It was a sight to see because Peyton was obviously the conversation with the Colts. Peyton was the Colts. The entire offense, obviously, incredible people, which obviously we're all friends with, and they're all coming to celebrate you next weekend. But it's like on the defensive side, the entire strategy of the team was Peyton in the offense gets the lead, and then Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, who was a special teamer, wasn't supposed to be who he was. Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney are going to end the game, basically, for the Colts. And that's the winningest decade in NFL history to a Super Bowl in a nutshell. Did you know? You knew that, right? And that's how the team was being built whenever you were in it?
Well, when you're in the moment, you don't really think about all of that, right? But when you leave and you talk to some of the guys, Bill Poley and those in Coach Dungy, and how they decided to construct that team, you know, we complimented each other, all right? And Peyton, they put up the points. Now, you got to throw the ball. Now, what are you going to do? Okay? Yeah, you could run the ball. Sure, run the ball. I mean, we can stop the run as well. But it's not about just running the ball. You got to score enough points to win. And you got Peyton, you got Marvin, you got Edgerrin, you got Reggie, you got Dallas, you got a plethora of guys on the other side that's going to put a lot of points up. So you can't you got to pick your poison. And, you know, what they ended up doing, like you talked about, coming up with really strange type of protection. And I apologize to all the defensive ends and the outside linebackers today, because there was stuff that was never put in prior to me. And now all of a sudden you got tight ends lining up outside the tackle and motioning guys in to chip block. That's never happened in a game of football. And all of a sudden, now it's here all the time. So I apologize to all you guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but at least they get tape on how to handle it. You just getting ear-holed out of nowhere. Like, what the? Is this even legal? I assume there's a bunch of, like, is this even legal conversations at that time? But that just became status quo. We only got a couple minutes left here before a hard out. I want to make sure AJ gets his question. We all have massive respect for you, Free. Massive.
AJ, what's happening, AJ?
What's happening, man? Your spin move, honestly, I'm so intrigued when I watch every single rep of it. Do you remember, like, what level you were at when you hit that in a game and it worked the first time? And also, like, how did you develop it? Did you realize early on, like, hey, this could be something special?
Well, I did it in high school. All right. Now, in high school, first of all, I didn't learn the move from anybody. All right. It kind of actually started on, like, all right, and one mixtapes. I don't know. Some of you guys are old enough to know. So
Hot
maybe not.
sizzle!
Yeah.
No holding.
Yeah, the professor really shook some shit, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So there you go. So those guys made the defensive players look absolutely ridiculous and silly. So that's what I kind of wanted to bring to football. And I was a big N1 mixtape guy. So in high school, I used to do these types of moves, try to make the offensive tackle look as silly as possible. They used to run the ball. So it was a little bit easier to spin on a guy who was trying to kill you on a run block because he's going to fall on his face. But as you get better at that move and keep doing it when they're passing the ball, you kind of figure it out. So really, to answer your question, it was kind of a development from high school, and it just kept getting better. The more times you do the move, the more comfortable you get. And that's how it happened with me.
Hot sauce was so good.
Oh, my God.
Sauce was good.
So good. He was so good. Then the professor shows up at one of those little practice rounds on a Friday. Wins, gets on the team.
Yeah,
I went to a show in Pittsburgh. I went to one. Boy, much better on TV than in real life.
Really? But still.
But it was good. Yeah, it was a good time. I watched
They
a lot.
cut up the highlights. They cut up the highlights.
Yeah,
perfectly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll see you in Canton, man. Congratulations and thanks for the invite. You're representing well.
It's all good, my brother. Take care of yourself. AJ, see you later, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dwight Freeney.
Yeah,